you poking around the garbage? You know, you garbage cat? You know what you are? You garbage cat? No, you're not a garbage cat. Hi, buddy. Hi. 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 Hello. What do you hear over there? How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am very excited. I am planning on taking the trailer off on its very first camping trip, a test run, if you will, tomorrow. But that means I got a lot I got to get done today, because as it is right now, in its current state, the bed can't be deployed into what I would call a comfortable deployment. Clear as mud? Oh, good. But yeah, I've been wanting for a long time for the maiden trip with the trailer and the Jeep, which is what this has sort of all been about, right? To be up to the Northwest Territories. It's if you're not familiar with Canada, we've got, what, 10 provinces and 3 territories now. I hesitate on 3, or stutter on 3, because it was two. What's going on here? For the longest time when I was growing up, but there are 3 territories, and the Northwest Territories is one of them. And like the name suggests, they are in the north, in the west of the country. But they're straight north from me in the province of Alberta, and I thought it would be a really fun trip. I don't like, not a huge exploration excursion deep into the territory or anything. No, I just want to go up across the border, get a corny picture of myself maybe at the border sign, because I've never been that far north in my province, and I thought that would be really cool to do. Unfortunately, this time of year, the campground that I was eyeing up for that trip, it's not even open yet. So, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, well, you know what? That would be a long trip. Like, it's not a short drive. It's probably 2 days of driving alone just to get up there, and then I want to spend a day at the campground and explore around that area a little bit, and then 2 days driving back, which means that would be about 5 days. 5 days sleeping in the trailer. And I don't even know if it's comfortable yet, right? So no, we will not be going on a maiden voyage. We'll be taking the trailer out as soon as the bed is ready to test it out and see what sort of tweaks I can make. And I think it'd be much better for me, where I'm at in my life, to be closer to home if anything should go wrong. And when I say go wrong, I mean I wake up in agonizing pain or some such nonsense. I don't think that'll be the case, but you never know. I think it's definitely a smarter play to do it that way. So, with that being said, we got to get the rest of the bed frame structure built. I want to get the table corners sanded down. I would love to get the table stained. And then, if the time permits, maybe get an inverter installed, but that has nothing to do with the bed. So, the new hitch in my step today is I've got everything that I need loaded up and ready to go for the build. And as I was pulling into the park, realized I don't think I have a tripod with me. So if that is in fact the case, we're going to have to get all sorts of funky with our camera angles today. It's always got to be something. A nice enough day. Who knows? Might get busy down here, but we got some space and whatnot. It did snow. Obviously, we saw that in the last video. But now we are back to experiencing spring, more or less. Come back here to the trailer. I'm gonna get the right keys. Those aren't the right keys. My goodness. Empty your pockets and find the keys. What the? Hello? Hello? All right, wait. Oh, I'm so secure. Well, that's great. All right, here's what we're working with. Table is still up. If you missed that episode, well, make sure you got notifications turned on and you're subscribed so you never miss a Matthew Allen TV episode. But who am I kidding? All right, what should we start with? A tripod would be great. Ooh, I've got this tripod. That won't work with what I'm currently filming with, but maybe for this episode we switch over, so I'm not pulling my bloody hair out. All right, and there we go. Stop. Now we got a tripod. That's nice. That makes my life a lot easier. Let's say we get some light on in here so we can see what we're doing. All right, and then we will need a sander. I think that's what I said in the last shot. I don't even know anymore. I need an adult. I really don't. I love being unsupervised. It's the only way to be. Right in Lucky's arse. We've got ourselves a sander. Ugh. Probably don't want to be sanding inside the trailer though. So... Yeah, that won't grab my groin anymore. Okay, now this table is made out of a piece of birch plywood, and it is quite smooth, actually. It's a nice piece of wood. I got it because it was already so smooth. When you go into hardware stores and whatnot, you can find some plywood that's real rough, right? But yeah, I opted for this one because it's nice and smooth. Oh, I don't know if this is gonna work out here. Well, we can try. The little leg feet things might get in the way here, but regardless of how smooth it is, maybe if we do it this way. Yeah, there we go. I'm still gonna pass over it, I think, with 120 or 240 grit sandpaper. Maybe I'll try the underside first, just to see if it makes it any smoother. And then I'm gonna clean it up with a tack cloth before I stain it. So that's nice and smooth. I got no worries about getting splinters or anything. Super nice. Maybe I don't have to do this. Hang on. Work smarter, not harder. Ooh, I don't know. It is quite a bit smoother. It's kind of crazy. You wouldn't think that it could get any smoother, but this 240 sandpaper, it's really nice. Yeah, all right. We got the tack cloth. We got the sandpaper. We got the space. Let's make our table as smooth as we can. Action. There we go, right? So she's nice and smooth and she looks nice and clean, but she's really, really not. And this is why you want something like a tack cloth. Where did I put mine? All my supplies are everywhere. I'll have to track them down, but I got myself some tack cloths and there they are. These little guys, if you don't know what they are, right? Tack cloth. They're kind of sticky, right? They got a little bit of tack to them. Nailed that name. And they help to lift off all the little bits of sawdust and whatnot from projects like this. I used them on a lot of the surfaces in the van, and they turned out great. And then through the advice of one of the workers at Rona, when I picked all this stuff up, I got myself these stain applicator pads, and I could get away with painting and then just putting a clear coat on, but I've never stained wood, and I do like the look of it. So in the van here, I got myself some stain, right? So we opted to go with, what did I go with? That's French. Ultimate Wood Stain, American Walnut. You're welcome, my American viewers. And then over here, we got ourselves a clear coat. Unfortunately, I left them in the trailer and it got a little cold. So I had it here in the van warming up. The van is nice and roasty toasty warm now. We could actually probably turn the heater off. I don't know if I'm gonna stain right now. I might leave that to be the last thing that I do. This stain does say that you can achieve color in one coat and apply the clear finish in 1 hour. How long does the clear finish take to dry? Never done anything like this. Justification. Sand using 150 to 220 grit sandpaper and remove all sanding dust using a vacuum or a tack cloth. I guess I could have vacuumed, but I like the actual like really clean finish the tack cloth gives. Application. Apply using a good quality synthetic blah, 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 blah. Allow finish to dry minimum of 2 to 3 hours before recoating. Lower temperatures and or higher humidity may cause slower dry times. Recoat only when previous coats have dried clear and feel hard, no longer feels tacky. If any coat has dried more than 24 hours, lightly sand before recoating. A minimum of 4 coats is recommended. Okay. Well, here's the thing. I could definitely temperature control everything by having the heater on in the trailer, and that could, you know, cure up overnight, which would be awesome. So that should be our goal. Get everything else done, test the bed that it works, and then stain the table inside the trailer, wait an hour, put the first clear coat on, and then rinse and repeat till it's done, and then it can finish up overnight. It helps when I say it out loud. Okay, well, for now we will put a pause on this, and the next step is going to be to assemble all of our little bits here that we had cut at Rona, and that is going to help create a little bench / storage unit on this side of the trailer. Starting to get a little busier down here, so I'm glad we got the loudest stuff done for now, although I am going to have to make a 4th support leg for the bed as well, and that will require the circular saw. But, again, getting ahead of ourselves. Woof! Covered in sawdust. Okay, get our knee pad for our old man edition knees. Here we go. And this is really simple. There's going to be, what? 1, 2, 3, 4 structures or supports here. I'm going to take the 2 2x2s, put them on top of the 1x2s like that, right? Then we take another 1x2, and we attach to the top like this. So a little bit of construction adhesive and some wood screws, and make 4 of these little bad boys. Let's just cut to the chase, shall we? Okay, and I have successfully made squares and a very big mess in the trailer, but we have what we need. Now we got to line them all up on this side of the wall and attach them hopefully to these studs down here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 studs. Once they are attached, it is really gonna close in the space in here, so say goodbye to all of the room for activities. There will be no nonsense happening in this trailer. Actually, before closing in the space for activities, I'm going to make that 4th brace front of the bed. Now I'm just going to use the wood that I have on hand. So this one's not going to be as long as the other 3 that are under there, so it's not going to give a full amount of support, but that's okay. It's just going to give, well, whatever the hell this is. The other ones are 27 inches long. These scrap pieces are 14 and a half, and I just got to put 2 6-inch pieces of 2x4 to stack them up like this, right? And it's going to go in there, and it's not so much to provide support on the bed, but support for the table when it's down, right? So let's do that first so I can get this in place before I have less space to move around in. Get out of my life, UPC barcodes. Let's get our table out of here. We don't need to be using our newly sanded future table as a workbench. It's ill-advised. Up here, I'm already kicking myself. This piece here that I was using on the ground when I was first sanding, I thought that was the scrap piece. No, scrap piece is back there. This is actually supposed to be the other table in the trailer. It's all right. Okay. Does 2x4 fit in here? Oh, it won't. The table won't go wide enough for a 2x4. How dare you, you bastard. That's all right. That's what our clamps are for. There you go. Lock and load. All right. And away we go. There's one piece. Is it 6 inches, governor? Bang on. Easy peasy. Ish. Might be 6 inches, but is it straight? Eh. There goes the conservation officer. His very fancy truck, kitted out with all the goodies. He doesn't care that I'm here doing this. All right. 1 and 2, which means more construction adhesive and more screws. It's a stubby little guy, but it'll work. So I'm thinking probably, yeah, right about there maybe. And I will attach it obviously to the platform properly, but for now that should be pretty good right about there. Gotta get that, maybe I should, yeah, we can tidy up first before we start attaching the squares. Even before that. That'll do. All right, with that done, now we can start getting these up here, and hopefully they're nice and even, you know? Like, builds like this, jank is the word, but they should work. I might have to remove the bottom screw on the wall panels here, just so they're not pushing these out further than they need to be. You can probably safely say that that is a guarantee at this point, but this is more or less how this is going to go. It's not perfectly 90 degrees, but that's all right. We like jank. We take those. Yeah, arts and crafts. So there you go, right? I'll give you a kind of an idea of what I'm going for here. And we'll obviously have to seal it off on the ends, but yeah, that is about it. And I think attaching them to the studs is the smartest move, so I'm going to remove these little screws right here, these little white guys that I'm using to hold the wall panels up. You can really see that. There you go, right there. Take these guys out on all four so that these guys can butt up as close as they can to the wall and the studs. We got our floppy wall panel back. Just what I wanted. I don't have a lot of room to work inside this this space here of the square, which is more like a rectangle. So I got my bit, just a bit, no extension or adapter. Just got this little tiny tit to be putting these long ass screws in. But this is essentially what I'm doing, right? Getting these long screws into the stud all the way through. Sink them in there. Doesn't lock in though, so sort of slowing production down, but that's okay. Right, and now a couple into the floor, just like I did over there, and times 4. All right, probably looks exactly the same as I was when I showed it to you last time. However, this time, they can't be knocked over. We got 3 screws into vertical, 3 screws into horizontal, and now we got to measure it and see about getting a front face plate on here. And of course, now I'm faced with a decision, right? Because I've got plywood on hand. I wouldn't want it to just be bare plywood on the front here. I could put plywood and maybe some spare wall paneling, or alternatively, the longer method would be to paint the faceplate white with the same paint that I used for up here on this and down there for that. Of course, that's not really an option if I want this to be ready to go for tomorrow. So we'll see. I don't know. You're not going to see down there very much, and it's going to get kicked by feet. So wall paneling like this, if I have a run that long, probably be my best bet. However, I got to make sure that the distance between here and there still allows the table to go down. We can't be adding too much, or I could run into trouble. So let's get the table in and see if it fits. Or maybe not our nice piece, but the piece I thought was scrap. Some people's kids. So this is going to come like this. Go on to our support down there. Okay, good. Excellent. So we've got more than enough room to work with here. It's uneven. Shocking. Hopefully it's not too uneven the whole way. I better check those other 2 struts up there, actually. This back here. Huzzah! Broom down. There we go. Whoop. Where's my... Our new leg needs to be attached. Okay. Oh, shit. Well, that's what I was afraid of. Damn. Well, we could put... Ooh, we could do it on the inside. Okay. So I'm having a bit of a moment here because, again, as square as we think these trailers are, they're not. Also, I cut a lot of this wood, so it stands to reason it's going to be wackadoo. What I'm talking about specifically is when I have this piece back here, it's fine. There's lots of space from like the outer edge here to the outer edge of this. But here, when we bring it up, you see we're almost bloody even, right? So you can't really add anything there. What the flip? Because I wanted to put a piece of plywood, whether it be like, you know, this thick stuff on the front here or something a little bit thinner, just to add a little bit more structural integrity. But since we're so close there, what I might have to do now is put it on the inside here. That might have to be where the support is, and then we just have a decorative piece on the front. Ooh, I don't love that because this stuff's so thin, there'll be this like space between, you know, the supporting wall and the decorative wall. It could be a little wonky, but that's okay. This whole trailer's wonky. Who am I kidding? Let me figure this out. So this is definitely delayed completion a little bit, having to do this, but that's okay. We've got this really long piece of that birch plywood left, and we're going to measure it to the length of the 4 squares and then the height of the inside bit, and that will be the inside brace. And then I just rejigged that 1 square that's sticking out a little bit. One of the studs was sticking out a little bit more, so I put a huge self-tapper in there to suck it up a little bit, but it's still not creating a big enough of a gap to have this on the outside, sadly. So this is gonna be one hell of a cut for my tiny little circular saw. You up to the task, sir? I hope so. You're all I have. And then the question is, do I have a long enough decorative piece? Oh yeah, I think so. That should definitely, that be long enough for these? Oh, it's not long enough. Well, son of a, this is going great. Okay, well, I don't know if I can officially state that I figured it out. I'm definitely choked that my decorative front piece isn't big enough. That might mean we have to make a stop at Rona, which I did not want to do. But instead of using that huge piece of plywood as the backing support, which would be not only difficult for me to cut in the situation that I find myself in right now, but that's also a heck of a lot of weight to just run through here. So I've actually got these 1x3 boards. I've got 2 of them. So I'm wondering, ignore this piece. We were just, I don't know what we were doing with that. Not solving the world's problems, that's for sure. But if I take this and we run it behind here instead, right? Maybe 1 run at the top as a brace to bring these all together. Oh God, they're not even at all. There's another good reason why I shouldn't cut that big thick piece, because it might not bend as easily. 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom to create some support, and then use that big piece to make what will be the seat / lid of this thing. Right? I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. And then I have to get this done because we need a place to put the support structures for the tables. Ah yes, right on time. Getting away on me, as it always does. Ugh. It's going from bad to worse. It's okay though. There's not gonna be any stops at Rona, I don't think. Not for today. I thought I had 2 1x3s. I only have 1 and a little stubby bit that won't work. So the bracing is going to be by a, what is this, a 1x1? Charming. No, it's a 1x2 and a 1x3. So I'm gonna cut them both the same length. I've measured how long I need to go in there and support all this silly business. Let's line them up, hack them up, and brace our seat. My goodness. Doing stuff like this now, this reminds me of when I was rebuilding Lucky out in BC and just making stuff work. Do it, bud. Super simple. What more do you need? Oof. The more I do stuff like this, the more this is starting to feel like the Temu version of a build I would do, but honestly, it's really solid, so I can't really complain. Okay, not exactly what I had in mind, but we're getting there. Now, since this little white decorative piece is too short to fit on the front, we are going to use this, I don't even know what this is, maybe a 1/4 inch thick plywood that I have. It is long enough. So let's bring this bad boy out. We're gonna have to get some measurements. Unfortunately, this means that front piece is not going to be finished. I suppose I could slap a little bit of that on there afterwards and just have, you know, some excess on over there. That's a possibility. What this means, though, is I'm going to have to shorten up this support platform. Probably going to have to turn it from 28 into 27 and hope that that's enough and it doesn't cause us too much jank. I mean, it's already jank. How much worse could it possibly get? It's starting to get very windy out here too. Ugh. Okay, this is going to be a really obnoxious cut. I am clear of my table though. It's just really long, so it's probably not going to end up being as nice and straight as it looks right now. But we're going to do our best. Oh no. What? Why? Did the battery die? No. You bastard. Now what am I going to do? I'm really in a pickle here now, boys. If you would like to hire me, don't. See how well this jank piece fits in here? Why'd I go around that way? Yep, she jank. We should be able to fix that though. Okay, it wasn't as jank as I thought. I was able to fix up the unevenness with just a little bit of sanding, which was super nice. So now we're just going to get it attached here to the front with a couple of screws in the top. Go. And then we won't put any in the bottom yet because that's where the supports are going to go. So hopefully we can just use some nice long screws for that. I wonder if I could just, not that it needs to look nice, but I could just use construction adhesive to attach that whiteboard. I don't know. Definitely getting ahead of myself. Probably not the best idea right now. Oh, nope, stuck. God, don't. That's what I get for stretching. No good ever came from stretching. Nothing to see here. Now, we got to trim up our tiny table. Okay, you did as good a job as I could. Definitely easier to cut a straight line on a shorter piece of wood and a thicker piece of wood. Now, if we put this guy here, I decided to go up to 27.5, not 27. A whole inch seemed like a lot. Hopefully this just comes down now. Oh, and it does. Okay, good. So there we go. So it doesn't hit this anymore, which is exactly what I wanted. If I wanted to, I could still put that nice decorative piece on the front there. But for now, I need 4 7.5-inch support brackets made out of 2x4. And then we will basically have our bed platform. Yay! Alright, there are my little soldiers all stood up. Only thing left to do is tidy this place up and make sure this monstrosity works. Kind of exciting. Alright, this is probably as tidy as it's going to get right now. Everything is where I need it to be. The only thing I need to do is actually secure that new brace down, but future Matthew will take care of that momentarily. Moment of truth. Hopefully this is the right dimensions. Knowing me, it's probably not, but it's a nice soft mattress, so it should be quite malleable, and we'll just force it in. Right, like this. All right, how much more room do we have to pull over here? A little bit. Hiya! Stuff it down. Hey! Heck yeah! She'll go. All right, move this piece of wood. I want to see what it feels like. My shoes off. Spent so much time vacuuming it off because I'm the moron that decided to build around the mattress. Yes, boy. There we go. That is the space that I need in order to get a good night's sleep. I don't even care. We're going to do this. Ooh, it's so nice. And it's very nice that the mattress fits. However, I absolutely 1000% completely screwed up my measurements. Unbelievable. And I guess that's just what I get for not being a camper scientist or anything. But this, while it might look great, my initial intent was actually for this to only be this bloody high. And then I was going to get another cushion made. Or at least, maybe not quite that low, but maybe like here. And then get a little 4-inch cushion made so that the bed, in theory, could extend and be bigger. But as it is now, this seat is bang on the same height as the bed. And actually, it'll end up being a little bit higher once I get the lid on this thing. I don't know. I have no idea how it happened. I thought I had done all of my calculations correctly. Clearly didn't, but that's okay. I got done what I wanted to get done, which was being able to deploy the bed. Now I can sleep. Well, not yet, because we have a table to stain, but you know what I mean. All right, got it back more or less into the kitchen version. And I'm going to use a tack cloth now to clean the tabletop off. I want to get this coat of stain on here sooner rather than later so that it can start drying up. While it's doing that, maybe I will tackle what will end up becoming the lid for that support over there. So first things first. Wow, they really secure this tack cloth in here. What the heck? Release, you bastard. Nice even passes. Get off all the little bits. Whew. I think all in all, even though we kind of got screwed up with that, brace and having to switch it to the inside of the box, did pretty well. Time's not too bad. Should be able to get all of this done, and then I can rest easy, and I can actually go out camping tomorrow. There was a point there where I thought this isn't going to be ready, or I was feeling overwhelmed, and I'm like, I'm just not going to rush. I'd still say I didn't quite rush, but it felt good to get it done. Did I mention at the top of this video that I picked up bedding already? I did that yesterday. I went out to a little local shop and I got myself a sheet set and a duvet and a duvet cover. Very excited. My OCD is going to drive me nuts with all of the little bits of sawdust and schmutz on my mattress. I've already vacuumed this mattress about 14 times today. I'm going to want to do it probably 14 more times before I put those sheets on here. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Do we think that is smooth enough? Oh, buddy. No. I don't know. I feel like we could probably still get more off. But I could probably do this 14 times and still not quite be satisfied. So let's grab that can of stain and see how we do. I think I'm going to close these doors, though, so no outside flotsam and jetsams come in. Honestly, I could probably get away with not staining this, too. This is going to be a table, and there's going to be drinks on it. I'd like to seal it up at least. It is nice looking wood. Clear coat would probably work just fine. Uno and dos. Oops. Nope, never mind. I forgot just how close the table comes to the door when the door is shut. We won't be able to get the stain there without hitting the door. So, okay. We'll open the door, we'll stain, then we'll close the door. All right, giving this thing a pretty good shake. Don't have a stir stick with me, but it says just shake it. We're not doing a lot here, so it should be okay. Let's get out our Leatherman here. Reason 3 to have one on your hip. Pry open your wood stain. Oh God, just looks like brown paint. Okay then, I have no idea. They say these are the best way to do stain, but I'm so used to using brushes. Like, this seems odd. Oh well. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That is so dark. It is so very, very dark. Definitely a difference. It smells nice. I mean, it smells like chemicals, but it smells like nice chemicals. Glad I didn't build the lid yet. I mean, obviously I could be staining this table somewhere else, but I'm not, am I? I'm staining it in here. Watch your white shirt. Make Dustin proud. Proud or flabbergasted, either way. All right, we've painted our can into a corner here. Glad I didn't get a bigger can of stain. This stuff sure goes far. Oh yeah, we did splooge a little bit, but it didn't go on our floor. It went on the rubber outer part of the door. I'm not gonna lie. Staining, super satisfying. Never done it before, but man, you can bet your bottom dollar I'll do it again. I should have sanded these edges a little bit better. For sure. They could definitely have been smoother. That's okay. It's not like it's hard to make the table again if necessary. You just get such a nice result right away. And it, like, I don't know, it goes on way better than paint. Oh! Sorry, Dustin. I got too excited. Right? Oh, I don't know. It's little things like that when you discover them that are so much fun and so cool. It's serendipitous too, Dustin. I just happen to be wearing my Sturgis Dixon t-shirt today. Granted, not one that you got me, thank goodness. How embarrassing, but it's just a little bit of a coincidence, eh? That's all right. Okay, so now it's got to dry for like an hour. Okay, and then we apply the clear coat. I wonder if I can wait and apply the clear coat tomorrow. I wouldn't want to do that though. I don't know if I want to use it. All right, it's been about half an hour. This piece is nowhere near being ready to get installed, but I want to see how well it fits. So got this cut hopefully to the correct size here, and there will be our lid for this bad boy, more or less. Nice. Yep, fits perfect. All right, got a little jank up there, but that's to be expected. I'm wondering how to secure this on here, honestly. My first thought, of course, was piano hinge, because I've used those before on boxes like this, although this is arguably the biggest box I have created thus far. Right, so that where my brain went was a huge cut the entire length of this, which is 67.5 inches. You know, like bring it in by an inch, make a cut here, and then piano hinge like that. But that's a lot of piano hinge. Very difficult for me to make a straight cut. I'm wondering if just 4 hinges, like, you know what, like a hinge here and there. Does that exist? Yeah, like a hinge, I don't know if it's called a two-way hinge, but a hinge that just flops everywhere. One here, you know, attached to the stud here. Same thing where the other 3 are. And then this bad boy should, in theory, just be able to open up like this. Right? I don't have anything like that on me right now. So we gotta make a stop at Canadian Tire. But that might be the simplest way to go. I might leave this detached for the weekend. Just to have it right around like this for now. I'll maybe put it down on the floor when we're in motion. Because with how much I like that, I might want to stain this. Although that might be pointless, because regardless of whether or not I do lower this, I'm probably going to get some sort of cushion to put on here so it can still be a seat. I don't even know. I don't really want to risk it. I want to see what this feels like to sit on, and if it's sturdy enough. I mean, primarily it wouldn't be me sitting over here, obviously, but oh yeah. Ooh, it's very close. Very close for the table. Might have to move the table over. I'm sure Brooklyn could squeeze in there if she could, if need be, but that's a lot tighter than I thought with the table. The table is definitely designed with that side in mind. Well, this is the whole point of this. We're learning. Just spent the last half hour tidying up in here as much as I could. It is nice and clean-ish. That's pretty much ready to go, so we're going to do the clear coat on that. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting camping trip. I don't have the lid on this yet or anything, but that's all right. Test run, test run, test run. That's what I keep telling myself. I also opted to put the second strut on here because it was just starting to look a little weak. I think this thing is popped open in transit once or twice already. With that second strut on there, it is nice and secure when it's closed. We'll see how long that lasts. But all right, before we get out of here for the day and bid adieu to Fish Creek Park, thank you very much for the hospitality. We got to get our first clear coat on top of our awesome colored or stained table. So happy with that. The sun has come out and it is absolutely gorgeous out here now. So I figured doors open for this first coat. I gave the table another pass with the second tack cloth here because in my tidying up, some dust and schmutz got up here and it just wasn't as smooth, not up to my smooth standards. So now it should be. We should be good. The person at Rona said I should use one of these sponge brushes to apply the clear coat. So I said, all right, you know better than I do. So grabbed myself a couple of those and got to figure out how I'm going to do this because my plan is to get this coat on and then GTFO and then just continue to apply the coats tonight at Tortuga. I got to go back and check on the putty tats, you know? Ew, gross. It's like cream colored. Nasty. Oh, you better not screw up my stain, you prick. All right, well, let's see what happens. Oh no, okay, we're good. It's very beige in the can here. Nice and even coats. Protect that finish. No streaks please. No streaks or suds. That was a lot. Got a lot done. And looking at the space and what I want to do, there's still a lot more to do, for sure. But got done what I wanted to get done, and now I can do that camping trip tomorrow, which I am very much looking forward to. The trailer has never looked so clean. Lucky has never looked so messy. Doing my best to keep all of the dust particles out of the trailer. Although as soon as I start driving, I'm just gonna get kicked up anyway, right? But we got that first coat, a clear coat on there, and that's all I'm gonna worry about for now. Gonna get myself back to Tortuga, say hello to a putty tat or two, and then I hope you have notifications turned on because in the next video, we're gonna haul that trailer up Tunnel Mountain in Banff. Hallie freaking ho! It'd be great if you could like, comment, and subscribe.